Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like,
that'll do it.
He was the bad boy too. Like, Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him, which it worked. Thankfully.
Yes.
But yeah, at first it was
Was that like the pivotal moment in the relationship where he was like, actually, you can't be with him. You need to be with me.
100%. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out.
Stop.
And he was like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. It's working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
How about that? Kelly Stafford, wife of Matthew Stafford, being totally obnoxious on the Off the Vine podcast, as that was hosted by Kaitlyn Bristowe. Only this time, Stephen A. Smith took note of what she was saying about her dating life in college. Wow. Just wow. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Stephen A. Smith reacting to Kelly Stafford's comments regarding her dating life back when she was in college. According to Kelly Stafford, she dated the backup quarterback in Georgia just to make Matthew Stafford feel jealous many years ago. Apparently, that triggered Stephen A. Smith on the Stephen A. Smith Show as he put Kelly Stafford on blast for publicly sharing that information to the general public. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Was Stephen A. Smith right to call out Kelly Stafford on his own show? You better believe that Stephen A. Smith was damn right to call out Kelly Stafford on his own show. Absolutely. Is that even a real question? Of course, Stephen A. Smith was right to call out Kelly Stafford on his own show, because that kind of information should not be shared to the general public whatsoever. I really don't like it when people share information about personal life that is meant to stay in the house. There is no reason for Kelly Stafford to be sharing that kind of information in the public when she could have kept that information to herself in her home with Matthew Stafford. Now everybody knows about the love life of Matthew Stafford and Kelly Stafford back in college, which for some people is fine, but for people like myself and for others, that is going to be a huge issue in the grand scheme of things, because some people believe that you should keep your personal life private. That's why they talk about personal and public, because there is a huge difference between a personal life and a public life. And I understand that the Stafford family, they're in the spotlight a lot. That's what happens when you're a star quarterback at the NFL level. And I want to make myself very clear when talking about Matthew Stafford. I'm actually a huge fan of Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. I think he is an underrated quarterback when we talk about the history of NFL quarterbacks. And I think that Matthew Stafford should be remembered in a positive light when talking about the history of the NFL. You guys also have to know that Matthew Stafford is one of the toughest SOBs ever to ever play in the NFL. Whenever this guy was injured, he still gave it his all. He's going to always play out there on the field, even when he shouldn't be. I like Matthew Stafford. He's not woke as far as I know. He's not even liberal as far as I know either. So I guess I got to be good with Matthew Stafford. But as for Kelly Stafford, man, this woman really frustrates me a lot because she talks way too damn much for an NFL wife. And obviously, I get that Kelly Stafford, she wants to be famous herself. She wants to be big time. But Kelly Stafford is only relevant because of her husband. If she wasn't married to Matthew Stafford, nobody would care who Kelly Stafford is. Or at least the people that follow football don't care about Kelly Stafford. And obviously, I'm talking about this because I want to bring awareness to you guys about the type of women that are out there. You look at how she was getting interviewed by Kaitlyn Bristowe. She's a former contestant on The Bachelorette, a show that I absolutely despise. I don't really like the show whatsoever. I think they talk way too much about dating life. I believe you should keep dating life private. And I think that the only thing that people should share in general regarding to dating life is, okay, are you married? Are you not? Okay, whatever. Obviously, the people on The Bachelorette don't take that approach. They like to talk about, ooh, this guy loved me. Ooh, I have a crush on him. Oh, I went out to this nice restaurant with them. Oh my God, there was another guy hitting up on me. Those are the kind of conversations people on The Bachelorette are having. And even though my mom is a huge fan of The Bachelorette, I can't stand the show whatsoever. But hey, they're not targeting for people like me to watch the show. They're targeting for women to watch the show. But anyways, though, I'm getting way off topic here. I want to talk about Stephen A. Smith in this situation. You look at how he called out Kelly Stafford on his own show. And before I ramble on too much more about what Stephen A. Smith had to say about Kelly Stafford, I'm going to show you guys what he had to say on the Stephen A. Smith show. Roll the film.
If you are Mrs. Stafford, what could possibly make you think that it is okay for you to go home after revealing to the public, I kicked it with his backup? What possible advantage could you peel from that with a husband of yours who you have 4 kids with? I met the woman once. She's a nice lady. I'm not casting any aspersions on her character or anything like that. I would never disrespect Matthew Stafford's wife or anybody else's wife. I'm just making the point. What would make you think that's okay? Why would you do that?
Rare Stephen A. Smith win. Holy cow, that was definitely one of the better takes Stephen A. Smith has ever made in his media career. Now, do I think Stephen A. Smith was 100% right? No, I thought he was too much of a simp to Kelly Stafford. That's why I like to call him Stephen A. Simp most of the time. And even though I call him Stephen A. Myth a lot on the show, I'm going to call him Stephen A. Smith today because he told the truth when regarding Kelly Stafford, and that he was absolutely right when blasting Kelly Stafford for sharing those details to the public. Those details should be staying private, and I think Kelly Stafford talks way too much. I think she's too outspoken for a woman. I think she's totally obnoxious. I think that she doesn't really add anything of great value to society in general. You look at how this woman has been a controversial woman throughout her life. She likes to make the headlines for all kinds of reasons, and even though Kelly Stafford is not woke, she has dipped into the woke fungus at times. You look at how she tried to apologize to Colin Kaepernick in 2020 for opposing his views on the national anthem. Obviously, there is one rule that everybody needs to follow when dealing with the woke people. You never, ever apologize to the woke people. And Kelly Stafford violated that rule, and she tried to join in the Black Lives Matter trend that was happening around that time period. You guys remember how BLM was a popular thing to do in 2020, even though that did more harm to our country than it did good. Yeah, I remember those days, and I remember Kelly Stafford tried to support Black Lives Matter and try to support defunding the police. And you look at how she tried to support Colin Kaepernick in 2020 as she was trying to grovel her way into being accepted by the woke community, which, by the way, didn't work because obviously they don't like white women like Kelly Stafford. They prefer ugly women, and Kelly Stafford is a beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. Kelly Stafford is a fine-looking woman, and she does look really good at times. I understand why Matthew Stafford would want to settle down with her. Hell, if I was in Matthew Stafford's position, I would probably do it myself. I'm not going to lie to the general public. And even though I'm blasting Kelly Stafford here, I can understand the appeal to Kelly Stafford in general. Then she was also very pro-abortion when there were anti-abortion laws coming out. She was talking about how abortion was important for women to have that choice. She's very pro-choice. I disagree with that. I think that we need to have more of a pro-life type of society. I think that abortion is a very bad thing to have in society. You guys follow the church, you guys will understand exactly what I mean. I'm not necessarily going to advertise more of that because I'm not trying to get demonetized here on the channel, but obviously pro-abortion is not a good thing whatsoever. But Kelly Stafford was trying to pander to that crowd. Obviously, she ended up looking like a fool for pandering to that crowd because right now we got anti-abortion laws, which hopefully, in my opinion, will stay that way. Then she calmed down about Harrison Butker just a month ago. She was getting mad about how Harrison Butker was talking about how men and women need to have defined roles in society. Apparently, that offended Kelly Stafford so much to a point where she was blasting Harrison Butker publicly. She just ended up looking like an idiot there. Anyways, the point is Kelly Stafford is not the brightest person out there. She's tried to dip her toes into the woke community, but obviously the woke community is not interested in a woman like Kelly Stafford because she's too white for them. But anyways, though, Kelly Stafford is one of those typical white liberal women that doesn't really have a clue what's going on in society whatsoever. She just follows the trends that are out there on Twitter and Instagram and tries to pander to that crowd. But rightfully so, Stephen A. Smith, he rips Kelly Stafford for the comments that she made on Matthew Stafford. Obviously, sharing her dating life was not the best marketable move for Kelly Stafford whatsoever. It just paints her in a bad light. So that is why Stephen A. Smith was absolutely right to call out Kelly Stafford on his own show, as Kelly Stafford was clearly being an attention whore in this situation. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinAsTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinAsTran and that Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinAsTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.